Now, the American President Joe Biden has described the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's approach to war in the Gaza Strip as a complete mistake. Now, this is Joe Biden's sharpest critique of how the Israeli government has been handling its bombing campaign on the Palestinian enclave of Gaza. Now, Biden made this statement during an interview with Univision that was taped just days after the Israeli military strikes killed 7 international aid workers of the World Central Kitchen.
I think what he's doing is a mistake. I don't agree with his approach. I think it's outrageous that those 3 vehicles were hit by drones and taken out on a highway where it wasn't like it was along the shore. It wasn't like there was a convoy moving there, etc. So what I'm calling for is for the Israelis to just call for a ceasefire, allow for the next 6-8 weeks total access to all food and medicine going into the country.
Meanwhile, the U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken has said that Hamas is being presented with a very serious offer for a truce and a hostage deal. The proposal was handed by the Egyptian and the Qatari mediators during the talks in Cairo. However, Hamas in its response has said that the Israeli proposal on a ceasefire just does not meet the demands of the Palestinian faction, but it would study the offer further and will deliver its response to the mediators. Now, on the eve of Eid al-Fitr, an Israeli bombing of a residential building in Nusayrat refugee camp in central Gaza has killed at least about 14 Palestinians. Now, the health ministry in the Gaza Strip has said that there were other airstrikes that have been reported in Deir al-Balah in central Gaza and also in Rafah in the southern part of the Gaza Strip. The death toll in this campaign of relentless Israeli bombings has now crossed the 33,000 mark. The Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu has repeatedly flagged plans of a ground invasion into Rafah, where more than 1.4 million Palestinians have been uprooted and driven out from their homes due to this campaign of Israeli bombings at this moment have sought refuge. And despite international pleas for restraint, the Israeli Prime Minister has been insistent that he will carry out a ground invasion into Rafah. According to sources, the Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant, in a phone call to the U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin, has specified that so far no date has been finalized for the Israeli ground invasion into Rafah, but this has been contradicted by the Israeli Prime Minister, who said that there is a date that Israel has decided upon. Meanwhile, the British government has decided not to halt the sale and transfer of arms to the State of Israel by British companies. The statement was made by the British Foreign Minister David Cameron 6 months into the campaign of Israeli bombings and ground invasion into the Gaza Strip. There is still no light at the end of this tunnel. The British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak's government has in fact come under heavy criticism to revoke licenses that allow the export and transfer of weapons to the State of Israel in this war. The crisis in the Red Sea continues to spiral, as in the latest, the U.S. military has said that it has destroyed an inbound anti-ship ballistic missile over the Gulf of Aden that was launched by the Iranian-backed Houthis and likely targeted the MV Yorktown cargo ship. And according to the U.S. Central Command's post on social media platform X, no injuries or damage has been reported. The Houthi attacks have disrupted global shipping through the Suez Canal, forcing firms to reroute to longer and more expensive journeys around southern Africa. The militants who control the most populous parts of Yemen are calling their action as a clear response to Israel's military operations in the Gaza Strip and also a show of solidarity to the Palestinian people. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.